I led a summer youth work project on Chicago's South Side this week. There was a lot of young people who were entirely unmotivated. I forced everyone to stand up and step into a large circle, say their name, and then we shouted their name back at them 3 times. One young lady was very reluctant to say her name. Later, I asked Charmaine, don't you like your name? And she said no, she just doesn't like public speaking. I told her nobody likes public speaking. None of us want to do it, but we all have to sometime. You have to take on a little personality and a persona and just do it. None of us want to step out of our comfort zone, but chances are, if we're experiencing something that we don't like, other people are probably experiencing the same thing. We don't have to like our name or do a lot of public speaking, but we're all called to step into the circle in this life, and we can do it with a little style and personality. Welcome. Welcome to Illinois Bridging Awareness. I'm Stanley Smith. We all stepped into the circle here in Illinois on the Saturday call and in the text chat and in the Signal group. Plus, we're in contact with other groups in other states. There's no shortage of small groups that have emerged across the nation during this weird time in history. We're trying to connect all the dots without losing our mind in the process. Each week on the Saturday call, we take a moment to just breathe for a moment, breathing into peace into our hearts and breathing out to peace into the world. We all need a positive mantra. It's a way to bring a new reality into the world. Only problem is we're not living in that reality yet. The reality of peace within and peace without. In the 12 steps to spiritual ascension sent to us through the text group this week, it outlines some of these steps in the process. The awakening stage, the dark night of the soul stage, leaving addictions behind, thirst for knowledge, thirst for purpose, pursuing your higher work, tapping into your third eye, receiving knowledge, experiencing physical transformation, leaning into your superpowers, and entering into the mastery phase. It all kind of sounds like a 12-step program. After the election and the pandemic narrative, I saw things differently. It was a major life disruption. Before all this, I was having a pretty good time. And then all of a sudden, I wasn't. And when I wasn't having a good time, I kind of started to notice things that I had never really noticed before. I talked to a couple psychologists here in the building and asked them if this was a psychological break. They said seeing things in a new way isn't an issue, it's how we respond that matters. When I looked up psychological break, it says the symptoms include hearing and seeing things that aren't there, believing you have special powers, believing external forces are controlling you, speaking irregularly, having mood swings, being isolated, and exhibiting inappropriate behavior. By definition, Christ and anyone who believes in God is insane. That's a cheap shot because we all lean on Christ to get us through the rough spots. And clinically speaking, believing in God is probably the sin of original psychosis. The 23rd Psalm pretty much parallels this 12 steps of spiritual ascension and psychological break. Mental health tells us to go along to get along and pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. In a recent sermon at Washington National Cathedral by Bishop Vashti Murphy McKenzie on the occasion of Juneteenth, she says Black people always noticed it, but white people are insulated in a bubble of being pacified, depressed, and isolated. We traded in getting it for mental health. Mental health as defined by a world that serves its own whims. It has very little interest in us other than seeing us as a commodity to be used and then cast aside. We're all seeing that now. Black people experience it as racism and white supremacy, and white people experience it as being pacified. Making the mistake that we must be doing okay because we're not Black is an easy mistake to make. There's nothing bad about making a mistake. It's not right or wrong. It's just a mistake. Criticism is different than being judgmental. Judgmental just means you think you're right in your criticism. There can't be one experience for one and a different experience for another. We're all part of the human family. A house divided cannot stand. God created the world good, and all things in it are good. We're going through a rough time right now. God is shepherding us through it. Let him do it. Watch for it, see it, and be part of it. Breathe into peace in your heart and breathe out peace into the world. We can do this, and we can do it together. If you would like to join us at Illinois Bridging Awareness, the Saturday call is every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time on Zoom. I will include my email in the description of this video. Be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.